Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Okay, so are we okay now? Is everything fine? All right, good. So let's go and quickly redo this. Sorry about that, folks. There might have been some kind of weird internet connection, or I don't know, it might have been my software, but everything seems to be fine right now. Must have been some kind of random hiccup. But anyways, let's go and redo this all again. Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another exciting episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And on this episode, you've probably heard me said this before, but once again, it bears repeating that just yesterday, or the day before that I started this episode, or start recording this episode, you may have noticed that there has been a lot of exciting and major news, especially related to animation or Disney or whatever, that are really worth talking about, especially one in particular that is considered the biggest night in animation of the year. And now that we finally got all the results of it, we will have time to go and talk about it on this episode. But before we begin, and hopefully this stream won't randomly cut off for some reason, I would like to go and just take a moment to go and talk about a serious issue that has happened this week and that is started to increasingly happen again, and that is unfortunately regarding police violence, because as you probably know, just recently there have been two people who have unfortunately died due to unnecessary police violence, including Dante Wright, a 20-year-old person with a kid, and even a kid as well, a 13-year-old boy by the name of Adam Toledo, where Dante was murdered by a very incompetent police officer or someone who secretly knew what they were doing, where they wanted to shoot out their taser, but instead shoot out their gun. And even in the case of Adam Toledo, it was at the point where the kid was unarmed, had its hands up, and unfortunately still ended up getting shot and killed anyways. This really shows that we are pretty much at the point where there is no excuse. Yeah, there are some incompetent people out there who will try to make up excuses for the police by saying that, oh, those people should have complied or anything like that. But now those are all the comments of the ignorant, the people that they don't care about what happens to black people. And yes, those are racist comments. We are pretty much at the point where, again, there is no excuse, and defending the police is a racist action in itself. And because more of these keep on happening, especially after last year's major protest of Black Lives Matter, there's no reason for this to continue on happening. And it really shows that many people who side with the police and the police force itself has learned absolutely nothing. And more it's starting to increasingly feel like it seems like a pretty solid idea to just defund the police altogether. Like, really, why spend any money on a force or a committee that is so corrupted with not just racism, but full-on white supremacy? And like with all these racist actions that have been happening, like we are at the point where it should be instinctual that we should treat at least white supremacy as if it is as bad as child grooming, that we need to treat it as a serious crime, to silence it and to punish it on the spot. And with that said, there are ways that right now that you can actually go and combat against police violence. And that's the one thing that I want to start things off with is a way to combat against police violence. And the best way that you can do so, or at least one way that I can recommend right now, is by donating to Campaign Zero. And yeah, it looks like I might have had my internet short circuit a bit, so I just need to go and reload some stuff. Why is there nothing? Okay, but as I was saying, like in the meantime, I'm trying to fix up this whole thing. What the fridge? I'm sorry about this, people. I don't know what's even going on. Let's see. Hold on. Campaign 0. Is it really like broken or something? Okay. There we go. Okay, now we can enter in. Now we see something. Yes, there it is. Okay, Campaign 0. So, if you want to go and donate to an organization that would combat against police violence, then one that I can go and recommend is Police Violence, where the website here not only is a place that you can go and donate to help people, such as to make sure that the actions of what happened to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Dante Wright, and Adam Toledo, to make sure they don't happen again, but also you can go and educate yourself a lot more about the cause and what is happening, especially in the United States, regarding police violence. This is a time that we need to stand up to what is obviously wrong. And with the police force, this is not a place where it's okay to have a few bad apples or anything like that. This is a job that there should be no mistakes. And if the police is not going to do their job to protect the people, then it might as well be up to the people to do the police's job for them. Again, what's the point of giving them money when they're not even going to do their job to protect the people and instead to protect crimes such as white supremacy? So again, this is just all to say, to like with the way that police violence has gone rampant all over again, please go and donate to organizations such as Campaign 0 to fight against police violence. All right, but with that said, now that we are all done, now that I got my message out of the way, are we all ready to get things started with this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Are we ready to get into the actual animation part of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, people. Let's see now. Are we ready? Yep, okay, yep. I see people are prepared. That's great to hear. So, now that we are all set with this, it is now time that we shall go and get things started. Oh, and by the way, special thanks to Yami119 for the subscription on Twitch. Very much appreciated, and I highly please, if you want to go and support me on Twitch and this podcast, also go and subscribe as well. That would definitely be great. All right, but with that said, it is now time that we shall go and get things started. So, with our first story that I have for you today, we're going to talk about something that literally happened last night. That literally happened on the night before that I started recording this podcast. It is considered the biggest night of animation, a moment that many animation fans have been waiting for to see the best of the best of who will walk away with a trophy for their achievements in animation. And of course, what I am talking about here is regarding the Annie Awards. Yes, last night, the 48th Annual Annie Awards has officially occurred, and they had a completely different show than usual, where it is all virtual, where they would still have special guests such as Philippa Sue, Josh Gad, Patrick Warburton, and many, many more, but instead of being on the stage, they are doing it at home, and everything was done digitally. Even the people who receive their trophies and give their thanks and all that kind of stuff, they were all doing it at home. Some were dressing up for the night, and some, well, they were in their PJs. Or there are some cases, like Gendy Tartakovsky, who had no clothes at all because he was accepting his award in the shower. I kid you not. But anyways, other than the show, though, yes, let's now go and actually focus on the winners. And of course, this year, there are not just one, but two big winners in the form of Soul and Wolfwalkers. In the case of Pixar's Soul, that was the one that was pretty obvious that it was going to win. And it managed to walk away with 7 Annie Awards, which includes Best Editing, Best Visual Effects, Best Character Animation, Best Storyboarding, Best Music, Best Writing, and of course the big one, Best Animated Feature. And by the way, Best Visual Effects, I might as well go and say Best Animated Effects, which is the proper term for the Annie Awards. But like I said, though, it's not just Soul that is the big winner, but surprisingly enough, Wolfwalkers managed to walk away with a lot of Annie Awards of their own. In fact, it could be debated that Wolfwalkers is the independent animated feature that so far has the most Annie Awards in history. I could be wrong on that, but it did manage to walk away with so much, earning a total of 5 Annie Awards, where it not just got the Best Independent Animated Feature category, but at the same time, it also won for Best Production Design, Best Character Design, Best Voice Acting for Eva Whittaker's performance as Robin, and also Best Directing for Tom Moore and Ross Stewart. But at the same time, those are just those are only the movies in terms of who won at the Annie Awards. There is also a good batch of animated series that also won for an Annie. And in this case here, there are 2 shows, however, that did walk away with multiple awards. The first of which being Hilda, which that one won 3 Annie Awards, one being Best Animated TV Series for Children. Then there was also another one for Best Character Animation in a TV series, and finally also winning Best Editing in a TV series as well. But then again, there is also Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal that also won 2 Annie Awards, one of which being Best TV Series for a General Audience, as well as Best Directing for a TV series for Genndy Tartakovsky himself. Of course, there are plenty of other winners as well. These include The Snail and the Whale winning for Best Animated Special. There is also the animated short Souvenir. There's also the commercial made by Cartoon Saloon and Greenpeace called There's a Monster in My Kitchen. There is also the preschool show The Adventures of Paddington, as well as the student film La Bestia. Also, among the other winners include Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. There is also The Mandalorian, the video game Spider-Man Miles Morales, or Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. There is Amphibia, Star Wars Clone Wars, Shroom's Odyssey, Looney Tunes cartoons, Wizards Tales of Arcadia for David Bradley's performance as Merlin, and finally, there is Big Mouth. And not to mention also, we got the individual awards as well, that was already previously announced, including Daisuke Tsusumi's June Foray Award. We also got Epic Games' Unreal Engine for winning the iWorks Award this year. We also got the Winsor McKay Lifetime Achievement Award given to Willie Ido, Sue Nichols, and Bruce Smith, as well as a Special Achievement Award given to Don Hahn for his documentary, Howard. And those are all the major winners this year at the Annie Awards. And the first thing that I want to talk about is regarding the show. I don't know if you guys have actually seen the show, which, by the way, you can actually go and check it out right now on YouTube. It's actually on the Annie Awards YouTube page. They actually posted the entire thing. It's less than 2 hours. And like I said before, it was actually a pretty interesting year considering that everything was all done digitally and all the presenters and all the people who won the award, they were all at their homes in order to put on the show and stuff like that. And admittedly, I didn't watch everything of it because I did try. Like, I tried to go and watch it, but then going through the first 15 minutes, then seeing, like, it started off with Josh Gad trying to do this weird gag of impersonating other celebrities and making bad jokes before presenting a specific category. From there, I was just watching it like, okay, I think I did a mistake. Screw this. And I bailed out, honestly. But this is not to say it was a bad show. There are definitely a lot of great moments, a lot of tender moments as well. You know, it was a nice show, but sitting through a bunch of celebrities making bad jokes before the awards, it's like, nah, man, I got better things to do with my time. Screw this. I ain't gonna sit any longer to see this kind of thing. But yeah, like maybe I know that maybe I missed a whole bunch during the time that it was live streaming, but Then again, also it was late, which is another reason why I had to skip a whole bunch of the award show during that night. But with that said, though, it is still it was still nice, and it is still worth watching. Again, if you want to see it, it is on the official YouTube channel on the Annie Awards, so you can go and check that out right now. But yeah, so that's just a bit of my commentary on the award show. So it's different, but award shows be award shows. You know what I'm saying? But now let's actually talk about the big winners, and of course the biggest ones worth talking about is regarding Soul and Wolfwalkers, both of which coming out as big winners. Soul being the bigger winner here, but still the fact that both of them did get a significant amount of Annie Awards. That really is worth saying that they are the two big winners. And in terms of movies, though, they are the only two winners, since like in every single category, it was either Soul or Wolfwalkers that would walk away with the award. But not necessarily surprising, because it is true that both of them did receive 10 Annie nominations each, so it shouldn't come to a surprise. It should be surprising, considering the fact that both of them would end up becoming the big winners. And I will say, it is kind of like a slight improvement from one problem that I do have with the Annies, and that is regarding their major bias. Now, this isn't like last time, 10 years prior, with the whole controversy of How to Train Your Dragon and how it was so obviously rigged towards DreamWorks Animation. It's not like that at all, but you could tell nowadays that there is kind of like this bias going on, that when the Annie Awards really likes a movie, then they'll really lean heavily towards giving all their trophies to them. And it's not just this year where we see it with Soul and Wolfwalkers, but we saw it all in the previous years as well. We saw that last year with Klaus. We saw that the year before that with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We saw that the year before that with Coco. And we saw that 2 years prior to that with Inside Out. It is kind of a common problem that the Annie Awards have, where they do lean a lot towards their bias, and it's way too obvious when they love an animated feature. And regardless if people can argue if like those ones deserve it or not, like still though, it just feels pretty shady when there is that one movie that would dominate the entire award show, and that it would be a common thing that would happen during that award show specifically. But with that said, it is a slight improvement, though, that it's not just one it's not just one movie winning all the Annies. Now we actually got two. So it is like the problem is still there, but we do have a little bit of a step up. Like for me, I was kind of surprised to see that Soul actually did not get as much as it would. Now, it still got a lot with 7, but I was expecting either 8 or more. But then again, with Wolfwalkers, like, it still did an amazing job on its own. And of course, it was going to get some awards either way. Like, for me, I'm just going to say right now, the two obvious ones that it was going to get, regardless of what people may think, honestly, it was a little too clear that, yeah, it was going to get Best Independent Animated Feature. And I'm going to say right now, it was pretty obvious that it was also going to get Best Voice Acting for Eva Whittaker's performance as Robin. Now, this is not to shoot down Eva Whittaker's performance at all. She did a fantastic job voicing Robin, and yeah, I do agree. Like a part of it, why it's so obvious is because, well, she's the one that definitely deserved it the most, because her performance in there was absolutely fantastic. She definitely did deserve it. But also it's because, like, yeah, it was obvious that she would get it because Best Voice Acting was actually a category in which Soul was not in there, surprisingly enough. Like, if we go down, hold on a sec, let me just show you, actually. Like, if we actually do go down to Best Voice Acting here, you'll find that Soul is not in here. It's either, like, yeah, you got Eva Whittaker being the winner, but then there's also Vanessa Marshall for her performance in Earwig and the Witch. There's Tom Holland for his performance in Onward. You got Robert G. Chu for Over the Moon. And you also got Nicolas Cage for The Croods: A New Age. None of which here is Soul. Like, technically, you got the Pixar nomination here with Onward, but none of which is actually Soul. So yeah, it was a pretty obvious one, but then again, I think among all these here, yeah, it definitely makes sense to go and give it to Eva Whittaker, definitely. But yeah, as I was saying though, with the whole situation with Soul, it is actually pretty surprising that it didn't come out with like almost all of them though. It got like, yes, it did get the majority, and it definitely deserved to get the majority, but yeah, pretty surprising, like it did manage to spare a few towards Wolfwalkers. And with that said, I will say with Wolfwalkers, even though I said there are some that are pretty obvious, some I'm actually really happy about, and the more I think about it, the more I feel like, yeah, it actually did deserve it, especially when it comes to the categories of best production design and best character design as well. Like, it's such a unique feature. And yes, it is following the tradition of what Cartoon Saloon has previously done with their other movies, such as The Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea, where it really is relying on symmetry, on shapes, going a little more abstract with it, but such a beautiful style. It has such a beautiful look to it. It has such a beautiful style that is highly admirable. In fact, there is one thing that I recently did. Um, Honestly, like just looking back and considering how award season was very, like, we're pretty much in the cusp of the award season. I actually decided to go and buy this. This is the Art of Wolfwalkers, a very fantastic book, and an amazing, like, interesting book to really get into, learning about the behind the scenes and learning about how they made all the animated stuff and like all the different techniques that they got into. It's very clever, really amazing, and very well done as well, especially the fact that this book is actually made by some well-known people in the animation industry. Of course, you got a foreword by James Baxter, an afterword from the directors Tom Moore and Ross Stewart, and all this is written by one of the most well-known and beloved animation historians, Charles Solomon. So this is a book I highly recommend you go and check it out if you really want to learn about the animation of Wolfwalkers. And with that said, with Wolfwalkers, the character design and the production design, yes, like it definitely deserved it because it is absolutely a beautiful looking feature and really does a great job with its designs, following the tradition of what they've previously done with the other Cartoon Saloon films, but also give it a fresh twist as well, where we see two contrasting styles happening at the same time. The sketchy round flow with the forest, and then you got like the very square shapes of the town and like the whole area that is run by Lord Protector, as well as having this woodcut. What is it? Wood cutting? No, it's not that. It's wood cutting print. Yeah, I think that would be the correct term. So, like using wood cutting print in order to really emphasize a unique style for the town, like the difference between man and nature. So, a very beautiful looking film. But I will say as well, if there is one massive surprise from this entire award show, one thing that I was absolutely shocked about, it was honestly the Best Director category, which that one actually went to Wolfwalkers to Tom Moore and Ross Stewart. Now that honestly was shocking. Like that was something I thought that, okay, they're gonna go and give this to Soul because, well, it is Soul, and they might as well give the win to Ken Powers and Pete Docter and all those guys. But the fact that it went to Wolfwalkers, that I felt like it was a bit of a massive shock. And I mean, then again, like as I said before, it's definitely a great movie, but I was not expecting that Wolfwalkers would go and get a massive category. Like, keep in mind, like that is definitely one of the big ones out there in the Annie Awards. Like, yeah, you got the big overall best animated feature and best animated series and stuff like that. But in terms of the individual awards, that's probably like one of the biggest ones out there, Best Director. And the fact that it went towards an independent animated feature instead of a mainstream one, that's really a big deal. But then again, some could argue that like it is kind of a give or take situation because, yeah, Wolfwalkers did win Best Directing. But then again, Soul actually did win another major individual category, which is for Best Writing. So it is more like a give or take kind of thing. And yeah, that is true. Considering that for me, I do have to say that I feel like Soul and Wolfwalkers are almost on par. I remember when I did the top 10 or the top 5 best and worst animated films of 2020, the biggest challenge was really to know which animated film should I put at number 1, either Wolfwalkers or Soul, because like they are both amazing 10 out of 10 movies. And like it really went down to like the finest, to the finest detail of who did the better job on what. So it was a very tough decision, and ultimately I went with Soul. But still, like both of these are absolutely fantastic, and yeah, I guess it is fair for both of them to get their fair share of like major awards, especially getting like some major categories, especially for their respective best animated features, as well as some of the major individual awards, such as best directing for Wolfwalkers and for best writing for Soul as well. Now, again, if there is one thing I would probably criticize is that, like, it is too bad that none of the other ones have a chance because, like I said before, we know about the Annie Awards big bias that they do have, and this year, it really is just 2 movies that won the Annie Awards, just Soul and Wolfwalkers. Everyone else can pretty much, jump off a cliff, basically. But then again, there are those that could argue there that, it was 2020, and I think it is safe to say that it was quite an exceptional year in general. And in terms of animated features, there really isn't a whole lot of animated films that are really worth talking about. Like like most animated features are not great, but they're not terrible at the same time. I mean, like you do get a few good ones, like you do got Onward, you do got the Willoughbys, but in terms of the ones that are really worth talking about and are considered the most memorable, it is true that the only ones would be Soul and Wolfwalkers. So it would only make sense that those two are the most prominent or the ones to walk away with all the awards. But still, though, like there is a bit of that weird shadiness, and it would have been nice to see like maybe one animated feature or two to walk away with at least one Annie, like give Onward like best animated effects or something like that. But still, though, it is kind of like an iffy thing right there. And like that again, like this is all just like a personal preference from my point of view, but that doesn't mean that I am disappointed by what I see in terms of the categories, because again, like definitely all of them do deserve a major win. And even in terms of the television ones, yeah, it is nice to see like like there's some surprises as well. Like I wasn't expecting Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous to actually walk away with an Annie this year, but there are definitely a lot of them that there are some surprises and a lot of like pleasant surprises at the same time. Like it's definitely great to see Primal actually getting some Annie Awards, because yeah, that definitely is a badass show, and definitely one of the best things Gendy Tartakovsky has done in recent years. Then like also one thing I would say that is a major surprise, by the way, would actually be regarding Hilda, because especially in terms of the best TV series for kids, that was a major major competition there, especially when you got some major series finales such as She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, Star Wars Clone Wars, and Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like all these shows were really giving it their all, and then like ultimately it just went to Hilda, which I believe Hilda, though it is a major competitor in itself, considering that even in previous years Hilda actually did walk away with a few Annie Awards before. So seeing the show again walking away with 3 additional Annies, yeah, it definitely shows how that series is absolutely a force to be reckoned with. And of course, a series that does have a prominent fan base as well. So I can imagine how the Hilda fans are definitely happy to see that. Also, some other surprises that I do find as well. Like one of which actually is regarding the Looney Tunes cartoons. winning for best storyboarding, mainly, particularly the fact that that Annie Award actually goes to Andrew Dickman. And for me, I find that pretty surprising, but also a bit of a pleasant surprise as well, considering that I've been, I will admit, I've been a longtime follower of Andrew Dickman's work, especially, I followed Andrew Dickman ever since he was known as the main artist for that guy with the glasses.com, and even afterwards I still follow him since, like even when he would post about his own creations like the down lovable content and stuff like that, and seeing him be like rising up to becoming an Annie award-winning animator for his work on the Looney Tunes cartoons, that's just crazy. Like, that feels like something that if I would tell people that 10 years ago, no one would believe me, because it sounds crazy. Like, imagine that guy with the glasses artist would become an Annie award-winning storyboard artist for his work on making Looney Tunes cartoons. That's just mind-blowing. That just feels insane, but it's also great to see how these people would eventually grow. You know, it's nice to see how these people would grow and become so prominent, and like they would become far bigger than where they used to be. It's such a beautiful sight to go and see that. But overall, though, I feel like with everything that we see here with the Annie Awards, you know, I'm definitely happy with the results that we got. Yes, maybe there could have been, well, not could have been, but maybe there is a bit of a heavy bias towards two particular animated features, but at least they are going towards two of the best animated features of that year, and I'm happy to see that Soul and Wolfwalkers did manage to walk away big at the Annies, along with delivering some surprises as well, and also really happy to see the results with the TV categories as well. And I just want to say, with all that said, a major congratulations to all the winners at this year's Annie Awards. That definitely is an award that is worth it and well-deserved as well. So best of luck for next year. And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Annie Awards. So, with that said, I would like to go to the chat wall and now pass the mic on to you all and ask, how do you feel about this year's Annie Awards? Are you guys happy with the results? Are you guys a little bit iffy with some of the things there? Which ones are you the most happy about? And which ones are you the most disappointed about? Let me know what you think. Okay, let's see what we got here now. Congrats to the crew of Soul and Wolfwalkers on delivering these well-crafted films and coming home with a handful of Annies. I am glad that there were at least two big winners this year, or just only two this year, than just one big winner for each year with Coco, Spider-Verse, and Klaus. But still, congrats to everyone at the Annies who earned an Annie, and keep up the great work for everyone. Yeah, for me, I feel like this is a bit of an improved version compared to what happened a few years ago. I would say 3 years ago? Yeah, like, this is an improvement from 3 years ago, where Coco ended up getting almost every single category. Like, that one, I will admit, that was, like, the most sus moment right there. It's like, walking away with every single one, leaving none behind, and I think the only category that it didn't win was Best Independent Animated Feature, where it went to The Breadwinner. And the only reason Coco didn't win that one was because it wasn't nominated in that category. Like, honestly, I love Coco very much, and I definitely do agree it was the best animated feature of that year, but still, though, can't you spare a few to Breadwinner? I know that was also a year where there wasn't much noteworthy animated features, but still, can't you just give it out to, like, some, can't you give out, like, maybe two to Breadwinner or something, because that was also another great animated feature. But then, like I said, though, this is like a bit of an improved version where, yes, the Wolfwalkers did manage to walk away with a few Annie Awards of their own, or several, I must say. All right, so let's go into the next one. Well, let's be real. Who didn't foresee this outcome? But really, though, I'm glad Soul and Wolfwalkers got their big wins. They are hands down deserved with all of them, even though I haven't seen Wolfwalkers yet. I will say this about the bias issue here. It is still not as bad as 10 years ago. 39 compared to 7, anybody? Yeah, that is true. Yeah, 10 years ago with the whole How to Train Your Dragon scenario, that was way too obvious where there was some shady practices and there are some things that were obviously rigged. So that was at the point where it felt like the Annie Awards had really no meaning because it was obviously corrupted by DreamWorks Animation there. Yeah, sure. The How to Train Your Dragon definitely did deserve some Annie Awards, but not that much, especially when it was in competition against movies such as Tangled and Toy Story 3. Don't you think those two deserve some Annies as well? I'm just saying. Let's see now. What else do we got here? It really wasn't surprising in the least. I definitely agree with you that the Annie Awards have a bit of a bias towards some animated films. Both Soul and Wolfwalkers deserve the win. Now, when it comes to the Oscars, I'm predicting that Soul is going to win. Also, while I haven't seen the Annie show yet, it is probably worth it to see that scene with Gendy in the shower. Yeah, I know that. The funny thing is that the first time I heard it was I think this morning when I was just reading through Facebook and stuff, and I heard someone wrote down and it was like, oh man, it was hilarious to see Gendy Tartakovsky accepting the award in the shower, and I was looking at that comment what the fridge kind of Mad Lib malarkey is this? I was like, what? I was like, what's going on? Gendy Tartakovsky in the shower? Excuse me? So yeah, I had to see it for myself, and yeah, it was a funny little bit. It was random, and it was kind of a satire on the whole fact that it is a virtual show. But at least Gendy did manage to make that moment stand out. So good on him on that. Definitely the funniest thing he has done in recent years as well. Let's see now. Congrats to Soul and Wolfwalkers being the big winners for the movies, no surprise there. Congrats to Hilda and Primal being the big winners for the TV shows, and congrats to everyone who won all the personal awards. Would have liked to see a bit more variety though. Yeah, I mean, they would deliver that on television, but then again, it's the Annies. Sometimes when it comes to movies, they don't really understand what variety means, especially when the last time that there was a bit of variety was probably back in for the 2016 movies. I think during that year, I could be wrong, but the big winner technically was Zootopia, but that only walked away with 4. And some of the other movies did manage to get some Annies as well, like Moana, for example. So just want to clarify on that. Let's see. What else do we got here? Let's see. Okay, we got another congratulations here. Congrats to Soul, Wolfwalkers, Primal, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Looney Tunes, The Mandalorian, Clone Wars for Best Music in TV Series, and DreamWorks for Jurassic World series for getting that win. They all deserve that win upon watching them, so congrats to everyone that deserved that win. Alright, so we got a nice little congratulations there. Who else? Let's see. Indeed, it was a lockdown event. Sure, it was good, but I kind of was expecting it to be similar to the Golden Globes and probably Oscars. In other words, I suppose that you noticed that the 2010 Annie Awards was the first significant time in which there was a diverse number of different winners besides Up and Princess and the Frog. By the way, hopefully and eventually other European animators like Enrique Gatto gets nominated for any nominations since he is the Spanish equivalent of Nick Park in CGI animation, and even me someday. Okay. Let's see. I can't believe I missed the Annie Awards yesterday, but at least I can watch it on YouTube, and it looks like the celebrities who weren't interested in the Annies had no time to be in the Annie Awards like Josh Gad. I'm glad that not only Soul, but Wolfwalkers win the awards. I wish I could have seen the entire show for myself. And don't forget the Oscars, because that will be coming up soon. And Eva Whittaker voiced Meb, not Robin. Honor Kievsky voiced Robin. Oh, is that the case? Oh, crap. Oh, really? Oh my. I am so sorry, people, for that little mistake there. Actually, let me just double check if that actually is the case. It's Maeve getting. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. I do apologize for that, people. I am so sorry. Yes, it actually is Maeve. Actually, the winner here. It's not Robin. It's actually Maeve. Okay, no, still okay, no, but still deserved it though. Even like regardless if it's either Honor or Eva, like they both gave out an amazing performance, and yeah. So I would like to put out my apology there for that little mistake, but yes, it is. It is Eva Whitaker's performance as Maeve that got her the win for Wolfwalkers. Okay, just to make that quick clarification there. Okay, all right. So I think I'll go and read one more comment before we jump into the next story here. Well, I actually haven't seen it yet, but I was busy and didn't even know the rewards were happening yesterday. But hearing from all the rewards really sound like it had some great categories, so congratulations to all the winners and for Soul for being Best Picture. And best of luck to the others next year. Also, did Gendy really did a SpongeBob moment from season 1? Whatever you call it, it happened. I guess you could say Gendy Tartakovsky might as well go down in history as the only man who accepted his award in the shower. But then again, with all that said and done, once again, I would like to congratulate all the winners at this year's Annie Awards, and best of luck for next year for the 49th Annual Annie Awards. Alright, so now that all the award festivities are done for now, and that we will save some a little bit for later when the Oscars will be coming soon, our next story, we're going to be jumping onto something a little nostalgic. Actually, speaking of Gendy Tartakovsky, we will be diving into something that will be coming back in a way that will be a little bit different. In a way, this is both old and new at the same time. It's continuing an old tradition, but it will be shaping up for the next generation of hits on Cartoon Network. And what I am talking about, of course, is regarding the grand return of cartoons. Yes, Cartoon Network has officially announced this week that they have opened up a brand new shorts program called Cartoons, which is a reference to a popular block back in the 1990s and the early 2000s where they would go and air some of the new episodes of Cartoon Network. And from there, with Cartoons, they are hoping that with this shorts program, that they will go and find new animators in order to let out their creative voices in the hopes that maybe someday those shorts will become something way bigger in the future. Now, to go into the specifics of what Cartoon Network wants to do with Cartoons, I'm going to go and read from my source here on Deadline, where it states here, shorts created through Cartoons will vary in length and subject matter and will cater to a variety of audiences ranging from preschoolers to adults. As artists explore, develop, and refine their works, they will receive focused studio support from a dedicated production team and veteran producer mentorship. Completed shorts have the potential to be globally distributed by Warner Media across a variety of platforms, including linear broadcasts through Cartoon Network, streaming through HBO Max, online, and much more. The program will be open to artists and producers of all experience levels from both inside and outside Cartoon Network studios. And also, an additional thing to add is regarding the veteran producer mentorship, in which they have also created a creative council, which will be a group of veterans that will go and help out these animators in order to create their shorts, which will consist of Pete Brownguard, Manny Hernandez, Katie Rice, and Aminder Dhaliwal. They are going to be the people of the Creative Council, to which they will be the ones that will ultimately determine which cartoons will be the best to present as cartoons, and which ones that, need a little bit of work, that will need a little more help. And on top of that, also, this is one thing I almost forgot to mention, is that with cartoons, what they are going to do with this one is that there will also be another major focus. As much as they are going to go and find more upcoming artists to go and be the next big Cartoon Network star, they are also going to go and have a focus on diversity, where they are going to go and put a focus to make sure that it's not going to be the grand majority of people who will be picked up on this program will be just white males. There will be a focus on diversity as well in terms of the stories that they are going to tell, that they will have a focus on giving out messages of inclusivity and equality as well, which is why there are not just the creative council will come in to go and help these animators, but as well as in committees such as Black Women Animation Studios and Exceptional Minds that will come in and help those animators out in order to add that diversity aspect onto cartoons. We also got a quote here coming from the president of Cartoon Network Studios and Warner Brothers Animation, Sam Register, as he states here, Cartoon Network Studios has a proud legacy of animated shorts. We are building on that legacy today with a program that will champion new and diverse voices, energize creativity, and provide resources for artists to share their stories with the world. I am so grateful to the producers serving on our creative council and our partner organizations for their commitment to make cartoons a successful and creatively rewarding endeavor. Now, one thing that I would like to state regarding cartoon specifically is that when it comes to Cartoon Network, they do have a prominent history with really taking advantage of the shorts program. In fact, you could say that having short programs are what are the things that built the foundation of Cartoon Network in the first place. In fact, if you go back to their origins, way back in their very beginnings in the early 1990s, they would actually have a couple of these short programs in the form of stuff like world premiere cartoons and What a Cartoon as well. And from there, those are the short programs that actually originated the first original Cartoon Network shows that would later become big hits and some of the most influential animated series in recent years. Like What a Cartoon and World Premiere Cartoon is actually the origins of shows such as Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, The Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, and Courage the Cowardly Dog. And even later on, Cartoon Network would still continue to make these special short programs in order to turn those shorts into animated series. That's where we would get the origins of stuff such as The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or at least I think Billy and Mandy would count in that one. Then there's also Sheep in the Big City, and there's also Codename Kids Next Door as well. Cartoon Network was built on shorts programs to which those would be turned into animated series, and they would define what Cartoon Network is today. And that's essentially the goal of what they want to do here with cartoons. And let's be honest, in recent years when it comes to Cartoon Network, especially this year when Cartoon Network is going through a major rebrand, we are aware that, well, Cartoon Network really isn't what it used to be. Even like in terms of like their comeback in the 2010s, like they are slipping up from that a little bit, considering that a lot of their major shows are no longer going to be available on Cartoon Network, or that they have officially ended. You know, like right now, we're no longer going to have any new episodes of stuff like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Gumball, and several others. But also, to add quickly, I almost forgot a regular show, because technically that would count as like the series that really brought Cartoon Network back up their feet in the 2010s. But nowadays, however, it looks like they're heading towards a new direction that feels unappealing, especially to the animation community. The fact that they're really leaning heavily on trying to bring back preschool shows, like try to really emphasize on that again to get into the preschool market. That, and also to go and bring back live action shows, that Cartoon Network wants to go into that direction again. And that is something that no matter who you are, like that is a major no-no to make non-cartoon shows for a channel literally called Cartoon Network. But then there is this announcement of cartoons, and honestly, I feel like this is the best news coming from Cartoon Network, and it kind of brings back my hopes for the future of Cartoon Network just a little bit. Because as I said before, the foundation of Cartoon Network was built on these short programs where those cartoons would eventually be turned into prominent animated series. And this is actually a great way in order to turn like whatever ideas that they may have in the future in order for them to become the next big Cartoon Network hits. And especially with this massive promise that they're going to give all creative control to the animators to let them go and do whatever they want, to go and tell whatever story they would like to wish, especially with the mentorship of many people that are particularly trustworthy. Like one major one, I will say that I do feel like the creative council is in good hands, one of which being Pete Browngardt. And this is a Cartoon Network veteran. He is known as the creator of Uncle Grandpa, but he is currently also the head honcho of the Looney Tunes cartoons. He's pretty much like you could say, the leader of the Looney Tunes cartoons and making sure everything all goes to plan with those shorts in particular. And so far, he's been doing a fantastic job with those cartoons. And if he could do a great job handling those, then I think he could do a great job handling this one as well. So they definitely got some great picks. And this also goes to people such as Manny Hernandez, Katie Rice, and Aminder Dhaliwal. So that, like, there's a lot of noteworthy aspects here that that definitely feels like this seems like a great idea. And also on top of that, you also have the angle of the diversity aspect, that there is also this lenient mission in order to bring out more diversity onto Cartoon Network. And they have done a great job already. Like, we've already seen that promise and that Cartoon Network can really handle diversity so well, especially with some of their previous shows such as Adventure Time and Steven Universe, where both of those shows would not only have a prominent theme of diversity, but also tackling some serious issues as well. And especially bringing in Black women animate studios and exceptional minds, that feels like it is the promise that we will see more voices from people that are much more than just white males, that we'll see more women have their shows be created, more people of color have their shows be created, have even like women of color get their shows be created. And even with the inclusion of exceptional minds, we could also see some autistic voices actually be more prominent onto Cartoon Network, not just telling autistic stories, but also have autistic creators actually come in and have their shows be presented on Cartoon Network as well. And I could imagine for many people of the animation community, that could be like a dream come true to see themselves onto a Cartoon Network show, like flat out just telling the audience that this main character of this Cartoon Network show is autistic, or that this Cartoon Network show was actually created by a autistic person. And yeah, I know that a lot of people, I know there is a lot of people that are saying that that there is also Hanna-Barbera that's also happening right now, since recently they did mention that they are rebranding Cartoon Network Europe, Cartoon Network Studios Europe into Hanna-Barbera Europe. But then again, that's just renaming a studio. It doesn't really have that much significance there. It's just a bit of a rebrand of one studio, in which nothing is really going to change there. They're still going to be working on stuff such as the Gumball movie and Elliot of Earth. I believe that's what the show is called. But anyways, yeah, that's just that bit of news that I just want to quickly mention. But yes, going back into cartoons, honestly, I feel like with all this, it feels very promising. And honestly, this is like some of the best news that gives me hope for the future of Cartoon Network with this shorts program, because it's continuing a proud tradition that Cartoon Network has in order to bring out fresh new ideas, and especially the angle of diversity, since Cartoon Network has already proven well that they can do a great job with delivering shows that have prominent themes of diversity and inclusion, which they are still continuing today, especially with creating these little animated shorts online, these Steven Universe shorts that promote being anti-racist. So overall, though, I honestly at this point, I'm loving this idea. I have nothing but good things to say about cartoons, and I can't wait to see what they have in store with these animated shorts, and hopefully they will go and help shape up the future of Cartoon Network to be big and bright, and hopefully be as good as how it was back in the 90s or even in the 2010s, to still keep Cartoon Network strong, to still keep them as a prominent animation force, and also be prominent, but and also be be a success for not just television with Cartoon Network, but also for HBO Max as well. So that's overall my thoughts on the whole cartoon scenario. And with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about cartoons? Are you guys on board with this idea? Are you a little iffy about it? Do you feel more positive about the future of Cartoon Network? Or are you a little more iffy about it? Let me know what you all think. Let's see now. I am really glad Cartoon Network is bringing back a show that is all about new shorts, since it would allow the new generation of animators to unleash their creative freedoms and its strong diversity, like race, and even people like in the autism spectrum like me. I wish the best of luck for all those animators and for all of them to unveil their stories to the world. And by the way, for those of you who are autistic, I highly do recommend you go and look up Exceptional Minds. If you guys don't know what that is, Exceptional Minds is actually a not if I remember, it's a non-profit organization that actually helps out people in the autism spectrum to go and create a career in arts and graphic design. Rather it be to work in the entertainment industry, to be an animator, or to really put their design skills into good use. I highly recommend to go and look that up. I think it's something that you guys would definitely go and appreciate. Let's see, what else do we have here? I actually agree with this, because not only Cartoons is coming back, but Hanna-Barbera is coming back as well. I actually think this is a good idea because it really brings up the nostalgia. Seriously, who doesn't like nostalgia these days? I'm actually glad that Cartoons and Hanna-Barbera are returning for more nostalgia. As the announcer says, it's time for the return of Cartoons, only on Cartoon Network. And then you got Dexter coming up. Cartoons. Oh boy, yeah, that definitely brings me back. Oh man, let's see now. Fun fact, I played some of these Steven Universe shorts about anti-racism before I would see an episode of Bear in the Big Blue House based on the theme. Okay, that's cute there. Let's see. There we go. It says here, oh boy, cartoons. To quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Plus that diversity always helps. Although I would be not surprised that Cartoon Network fans are acting like Nintendo fans by ignoring this news and just be yelling, "Bring back Infinity Train." Now I know how Reggie feels. Well, I mean, Infinity Train has already come back. I mean, there's a season 4. I think there's a season 5 that's going to be coming, and it's like, well, what the fridge more do you want? I mean, like, what do you mean bring back Infinity Train? It's already coming back. Just go to freaking HBO Max. Seriously. All right. Anyways, what else do we got here? Seeing as stuff like cartoons pretty much molded my childhood with Billy and Mandy and Codename Kids Next Door, I'm really looking forward to what this program has in store. I especially love the concept of bringing in more diverse creators, and I highly anticipate their projects. Also, fun fact, did you know one of the What a Cartoon shorts practically gave birth to Family Guy? Yes, that is actually true. And that's the funny thing is that usually with these shorts programs, you never know what they could happen. It's like, even if they don't work well on that particular shorts program, they could become something bigger. Like, there is actually this short that actually was the not the precursor, the prototype to what would become Family Guy, considering that it was a show created by Steve, is it Steve or no, Seth MacFarlane. I'm sorry, that was a name. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, King Cerulean. It's Larry and Steve, which was the precursor to Family Guy, considering that it stars a smart talking dog, and it has Steve, who is his owner, that is this bumbling idiot. Both of which are actually voiced by Seth MacFarlane in the same style of voice, actually. And there is also another cartoon to mention. I remember there was at one point, Nickelodeon tried to do a shorts program, and that didn't necessarily work. That did not necessarily succeed as well. But there was an animated short that did ended up moving to Cartoon Network, which would go on to become Adventure Time. Yes, I kid you not. Adventure Time, ironically enough, started off as a Nickelodeon short. Yeah, wrap your head around that one. Let's see here. What else do we have? This has certainly got me excited. It will be interesting to see all kinds of new animated shorts, which will come from tons of different people, especially autistic people, since I am autistic myself. Considering many of Cartoon Network shows started off as shorts, this sounds like a great idea, unlike them trying to do live action shows again, and where I must ask them, how many times do we have to teach you this, old man? In comes live action random kid. I love the young people. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna go and read one more comment before we hop into the next story here. Yeah, I might as well go with you. This is a great idea. We need to see what they got for for new cartoons. I'm excited for this. I just hope this doesn't go down the same way as the Cartoon Institute, where only 2 cartoons were greenlit. I mean, there is always that risk, but then again, we'll just wait and see how it goes. But best of luck to Cartoon Network and to all those who will go and apply to the Cartoons short program. Okay, so let's jump on to the next story that I have here, and we are going to be talking about what is currently right now the biggest movie of the year, or what's going to be overall one of the biggest movies of the year, Godzilla vs. Kong. And some people may debate if it is going to be considered one of the best movies of the year, considering it is just a big blockbuster monsters fighting each other movie, but it is still an extremely fun movie. A film that pretty much promised to deliver what people wanted to see. Giant monsters fighting each other, and 2 iconic monsters like Godzilla and Kong. But there might be some people out there that might have loved it so much that even that movie alone is not enough to have their Godzilla fill, to have their big monster fill, if you will. But don't you worry, because Netflix has already got you covered there. Because they actually have an upcoming anime that will deliver more of some good old Godzilla goodness. And what I'm gonna show you here is gonna be the trailer for the upcoming anime that's coming out on Netflix, Godzilla Singular Point. Is there any... Wait, is there any... Oh, there it is, sorry. Okay, there it is.
ジャガーの完成を急げ。世界の平和を守るぞ。
うちはただの町工場だろ。
音楽データの解析結果が出ました。
この中に何が隠れてる？
アーキタイプ？
B 博士が研究している変な分子の総称です。
不可能を可能にする魔法のランプ。
アンギラスは未来を予測してるんじゃなくて直接未来を見てるとしたら破局？
この宇宙全体がなかったことになるっていうか、
地下の意志を持った骨。
悪夢を広げていく素材か。
おそらくあれが破局へと向かう引き金。
破局が始まる。
芦原の予言通りというのか。
破局自体を何とかしないと。
変えることのできない未来をあらかじめ知れたからって何かいいことあんのか？未来が見える意味。
未来を変える方法。
あなたはそれを見つけようとしている。
いざいかんゴジラ退治。行けジェットジャガー。
And that was Godzilla Singular Point, the latest adaptation of Godzilla, and obviously heading towards a different direction than what people may be used to with Godzilla. And basically the big thing to really focus on is that you got a bunch of people that are pretty much protecting their city from Godzilla, or pretty much protecting the world from Godzilla and other monsters. So yes, this is a case where Godzilla is coming back as the villain, that he is a force to be reckoned with. But one thing that I will say when watching this trailer, what I do find to be pretty interesting, is actually regarding the fact that with this adaptation of Godzilla, they're obviously taking the monsters and they're bringing them towards a different direction where it feels less like they're presenting them as actual monsters per se, and they feel more like dinosaurs. You know, like they are bringing back giant dinosaurs, and what happens if they're rampaging the city. You know, it's pretty much like, I feel like this kind of concept is like this anime mixture of not just Godzilla, but also you got a bit of Jurassic Park as well, or at least one of the Jurassic Park movies where they would go off the island and you would see all the dinosaurs suddenly invade modern civilization. And the way that you can go and notice that is not just regarding Godzilla himself, but also some of the other monsters that do appear as well. Like you got this giant pterodactyl monster, which I wouldn't be surprised if most of these are going to be new monsters that will appear, but you also got some old fan favorites as well. Yeah, here's also another frightening look at the pterodactyl. Like, holy crap, look at all this teeth. Everything here is teeth. His tongue has teeth. This is a mouthful of yikes. It's literally a mouthful of nopes and yikes over here. Like, yeah, this is going to be a frightening creature. And not to mention that it looks like with this pterodactyl, it almost looks like it has no skin. It kind of has this weird Attack on Titan texture where it looks like it's just skinless as it's flying. It's like everything about it just looks freaking disturbing. But as I was saying though, there, like, not only do you have like these new monsters, but also where can I find it? Yeah, right over here, we also got some fan favorites that are going to be coming back. Like, this one is Anguirus, which in here, it looks like Anguirus is actually rooting more into his dinosaur origins, where, yeah, you got the familiar Anguirus archetypes. Like, you got the familiar traits, the familiar traits of Anguirus, where, like, yeah, he's covered in spikes that could put Bowser to shame. But also, just the structure of him, like, it looks a lot more like a dinosaur than Anguirus was before. And, yeah, some people are saying that maybe, some people are even saying that there is a chance that, even some people are saying that, the monster that I showed you here, like, with all the teeth, the pterodactyl with the teeth, some people are saying that this could be Rodan. Like, if that really is the case, then it is further proving me correct on the fact that all, like, what they really, like, they're really taking a lot of the familiar monsters in the Godzilla universe, and they're really making them more like living dinosaurs than actual kaijus, or sticking close to their original look. But at the same time, you do have a whole bunch of them that are going to be new and original. So there is no denying. Like, there's at one point, I think, yeah, like, you got this one over here where you got this giant spider that's going after them. Or there's at one point where the water was rising, and you got, like, yeah, like, you'll have some water creatures. Yeah, like, yeah, you got this fish monster. You're not a monster. You're just a weird, mad scientist dude. But there is at one point, hold on a sec. Yeah, it was like a monster, like, climbing up. Yeah, this thing here. You barely see it, but yeah, this is another monster. It could be a familiar one, but, like, I will say, the silhouette seems, strikingly a little familiar to me. I don't know. But, yeah, you also got, like, you got, like, a whole bunch of them. Like, there will be new monsters for sure, and then, of course, like, you got your classics, like, here's, good old Zilla over here. But at the same time, you also got some good guys as well. And it looks like in this case, the prominent good guy of this series is going to be Jet Jaguar, which is going to be the form of a giant mecha, which pretty much follows the classic tradition of Japanese entertainment, where you got giant mechas fighting against giant kaijus. Which, well, giant kaijus might seem like a redundant term. I meant just kaijus, but you get what I mean. So, like, in this case here, Jet Jaguar is going to be in the form of a giant mecha, a giant robot. Now, does that mean that maybe in the future we will be seeing possibly the return of Mecha Godzilla as well, where they are going to make a Mecha Godzilla at the same time to be in alliance with Jet Jaguar? That will remain to be seen, but it is taking a bit of an interesting turn. And it is obvious that there is this plot line as well that they want to add in with the humans, where you got these people that they have their own plot line, trying to do everything they can in order to protect people from the disasters that are happening with these giant dinosaurs. And we might figure out who could be the cause of all this as well. Like, even when they're talking about, like, this one crazy mad scientist at one point, if I could find that again, actually. Yeah, I think it's somewhere over here, or I don't know. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, this moment. Yeah, like, maybe it could be, like, because of this guy, because he messed up so much. Like, now we have, like, Godzilla, Anguirus, and maybe Rodan coming back, wreaking havoc in all these episodes. There is a possibility, but then again, like, when you would watch something from Godzilla, like, the human aspect of it doesn't necessarily matter that much, or many people aren't really gonna care about, like, the human aspect. Like, if it turns out to be great, and if it really adds on so much to the series, then that would be, that would be spectacular. If not, well then, okay, like, at least make sure that the big robots fighting against the big monsters be entertaining. But so far, I will say that for Godzilla fans, yeah, this looks like already something that is going to be a must-watch, especially when a lot of the animation here feels very impressive. It looks like it's going to be a pretty badass show and will stay within the traditions of Godzilla. So if you guys are excited to go and check out Godzilla Singular Point, then it is going to be coming out on Netflix pretty soon, this June, actually. All it says so far is that it's coming out in June. We don't have a specific date, but we will wait and see with how Godzilla Singular Point will go. And with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you guys feel about Godzilla Singular Point? Is this a series that you would be willing to watch? Are you guys going to be skipping this one? Are you interested to see this new Godzilla version? Do you think it's going to be one of the better Godzillas? Is it going to be one of the worst Godzillas? Let me know what you think. Let's see now. What do we got here? The show looks awesome. I always love seeing Godzilla as a villain. And it's interesting to see some of the classic kaijus depicted more as dinosaurs. The new monsters look pretty interesting, and the animation is beautiful. And fun fact on Jet Jaguar, Godzilla vs. Megalodon was surprised to be a solo Jet Jaguar movie, but Toho added Godzilla last minute for marketing reasons. Yeah, that's a bit of a cop-out, man. If you're gonna add Godzilla to the title, make sure you add freaking Godzilla. Even if it is just that random moment, like, even if it's like a scene where it has nothing to do with the movie and it's just Godzilla doing that random dance. You know the one where he's like in the mood, he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, you know that dance. Like, even if it's just that one, like, if you're gonna add Godzilla to the title, make sure you add Godzilla to the movie. That would be important. But anyways, what else do we got here? Well, I didn't expect we get another Godzilla anime since the anime movie trilogy back in 2017 and 2018, but here we are, certainly having that again. I have the anime movie trilogy, and it was boring as hell with too much human drama and subplots with little focus on Godzilla. For this trailer, I am looking so far. It looks interesting, but I hope it's better than the anime movie trilogy. Hope it is decent still. Yeah, again, like, if the humans don't go well, at least make sure that the monsters and the giant robots can do well fighting against each other. And especially the fact that this is a series also. Like, at that point, it is more likely that it could be in the format of, like, Pokemon or Digimon, where at least at some point, you will be guaranteed to have a giant monster fighting or causing chaos and stuff like that. So you will have your monster fill, for sure. So, like, maybe it is a good thing that it is a series instead of a movie. Let's see now. Let's see. I don't have a whole lot of Godzilla experience, but the show looks freaking bonkers. The kaiju designs look insane as hell, and the action looks spectacular. However, the big twist of the show needs to be that the monster looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it's Godzilla! Though it isn't. Ah! Oh my god. Honestly, it's only until I was older that I learned to actually appreciate that gold member joke. I was like, that's when I realized, it's like, oh, now I understand what they're saying, and what they're saying is actually pretty funny. Okay, what else do we got here? Oh, literally from someone called Super Kaiju Guy. Okay, that's actually perfect. This looks super badass. I might have to check this out when it is released. I'm used to the original Man in Suit films, but this hopefully will not disappoint Godzilla fans. Also, we need a modern rendition of the Jet Jaguar song. Oh, actually, you know, I was just thinking that would actually that would actually be perfect for the end credits, because like I am familiar with the Jet Jaguar song, and it feels like it would be that type of song that you would actually like, that kind of uplifting or like you know, meaningful song that has that tone during the end credits of an anime. So yeah, like, try to do a modern version of the Jet Jaguar song for the end credits, where you have like all the anime characters just pondering or just looking out in the distance, you know, like Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar, you know, something like that. And I do apologize if that would offend anyone. I didn't mean to go and you know, sound offensive or anything like that, just in case, you know, just want to add that there. But anyways, there what else do we have here? Let's see. Interesting anime. I must admit, funny you mentioned about dinos, because I once thought that Godzilla was a type of dinosaur when I first saw him in the 1990s version, even though that wasn't well received, but I guess well-crafted visual effects at the time, and I think the people will have a point to put the story engaging emotionally plus other animals, but in other words, be careful of your nightmares with the freaky, creepy scientist. Plus, can you imagine your hand on the pterodactyl mouth? Yeah, but then afterwards, you won't even have a hand. Let's see. I think by this point... Oh, okay. I'll read 2 more comments, and then we'll jump into the next story. Let's see. Now, this is the Godzilla anime we wanted. Given that Netflix is adding more content from Japanese animation studios, and anime could be a major competitor to Funimation. and technically Crunchyroll, but that depends on what the Department of Justice is going to say on that. I hope Godzilla SP should be the most thrilling anime of the year. Also, whoever said that line, clever Austin Powers reference. All right, now one more comment. As a major Godzilla fan myself, this anime looks pretty promising, and if you are not a Godzilla fan, I can tell you that the two monsters you don't really know. The spider is Kumanga, and the green monster is Gabara. If they do make a season 2, they might bring back King Ghidorah, Gigan, Megalodon, Hidora, or even Baragon as well. I'm pretty excited to see this anime as well, and we'll see if this anime succeeds. Actually, if there is one Godzilla kaiju that I would like to see in this version, it's been a while since we've seen any depictions of this one, but it would actually be pretty cool to see the comeback of Destroya. That would be awesome. Imagine, if they are going to be leaning more towards if they're going to lean more towards a prehistoric side with Singular Point, I would like to see what they're going to do with Destroya. I want to see the comeback of that character. All right, so moving on to the next story, let's go ahead and talk about Disney live-action remakes. As you know, coming very soon, we are going to have the next big Disney live-action remake with Cruella, which is pretty much a spiritual successor, in a sense, to their other success with Maleficent, where they're basically taking a popular Disney villainess and giving her an updated origin story, which in this case here is with Cruella de Vil. But in the future, it may seem like we could be having a little bit more of those types of Disney live-action remakes. But with this one in particular, though, I have a lot of questions. This was something that was just announced yesterday, but it makes me wonder, what are they going to do with Cinderella's stepsisters? Yes, it has been announced that Kristen Wiig and Mumolo? Yes, Annie Mumolo, the Oscar-nominated writers of movies such as Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar and Bridesmaids, they have been hired by Disney in order to write a new movie that will be starring the evil stepsisters in Cinderella. But they won't be alone in this. Not only are they going to be coming in as the writers, but on top of that, they also have a couple of producers from Gloria Sanchez Productions, which they got Jessica Elbaum and Will Ferrell to come in as producers. And for those of you who might not know what this could be about, I'm going to read you from my source here on Deadline, where in here it actually states... the film is a fairy tale musical comedy that reimagines the Cinderella classic from the point of view of her infamous evil stepsisters. Spanning their entire childhood through the marriage of their universally beloved stepsister and beyond, we follow Anastasia and Drizella Tremaine as they struggle to uphold their family legacy. Now, one other question some people might be wondering is regarding if Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo are also going to be appearing as the stars of the movie, if those two are also going to be the stepsisters. Well, at this point, the answer is... I don't know. Well, Disney doesn't even know themselves, but they are saying that there is a chance that most likely not really. Because when it comes to the stepsisters, when it comes to this movie, they're most likely going to be bringing in younger actresses to play the part, especially if they're going to go and span across their entire lifetime, from their early childhood all the way up to Cinderella's marriage. If they are going to go towards that direction, then yeah, chances are Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo are a little too old to play that part. Even though they are extremely talented, not just as writers, but also as actresses, they could do it, but then again, chances are they might be looking for someone younger. And with that said, with this movie, I do find this to be pretty interesting because I might as well go and start things off by asking the big question with this. Will this movie have anything to do with the 2015 movie? Because we are at the point where Disney wants to go and expand their live action remakes, where not only are they doing sequels to them, like we are seeing with Maleficent and coming soon with The Jungle Book and The Lion King, but they're also doing TV spin-offs as well, or series spin-offs, more what I mean, considering that they do have that upcoming series starring Gaston and LeFou from the live action remake of Beauty and the Beast. Like, they are going to go and do that as well. What I'm wondering is this one going to be a remake of the 2015 movie, or are they doing a completely different thing? Because if you do look back at the 2015 movie, I understand that is a film that nowadays not many people really talk about. It's often one of the most overlooked Disney live action remakes. But then again, I would honestly say that it is one of the better Disney live action remakes. Not necessarily great per se, but it's all right for what it's trying to do. Like, it's fine. Nothing horrible, but it is decently entertaining in its own right. And it is, I will admit it did put in some effort to differentiate itself from the 1950 animated feature. So is it going to be a spin-off to that where we're going to see like the comeback of the actresses playing as the evil stepsisters? Are we also going to have Cate Blanchett coming back as Lady Tremaine? Is it Cate Blanchett? If I'm wrong on that, you can feel free to go and correct me on that. But yeah, that's one thing I am curious about. Are they doing are they going to do a spin-off to that live action remake? And if not, then why the fridge are we redoing another remake? That I feel like it just makes no sense, especially the fact that the last remake was back in 2015. Do we need another Cinderella remake from Disney? Or also, not to mention, do we also need another Cinderella adaptation? Especially considering the fact that I believe Sony also has their big, their big budget all-star Cinderella adaptation that's going to be coming soon. Like, they're going to have their version come out as well. So by doing another Cinderella reboot, would it be too much? Do we need another one per se? I just feel like that's just something that feels a bit off, and it feels like they're just rebooting their reboots at this point. Like now they're just trying that again and trying to make other adaptations to stories that they've already told several times before. Now, granted, some people could say that when you look at Cruella, that's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like rebooting a movie that they've already rebooted. We already got the live-action remake from the 1990s starring Glenn Close. Technically, we don't need another 101 Dalmatians remake, but then again, we already have Cruella. But now we have Cruella, which is going to be completely different. That's going to be set in a completely different time, pretty much I hate to repeat myself, but completely different from the original animated feature and all those settings in order to create their unique version of Cruella. Like, it is the same thing with what they are doing here, but still kind of redundant, especially when you're trying to reboot a movie that is not even 10 years old. Like, why remake Cinderella again? Yes, it's a timeless story, but do we need another Cinderella movie if that's not going to be related to the 2015 feature? I don't know. I just feel like on that aspect, it's just a little bit weird. And on top of that, the fact that it feels like with this one, they're heading towards a completely different direction. And unfortunately, it looks like the answer might be yes, that it might not necessarily be related to the animated, not the animated, it might not be related to the 2015 movie, especially when they're going to make it a musical comedy, which, when you look at the 2015 film, it's not a musical, and it's not really a comedy either, so they're obviously heading towards a completely different direction with this one. However, One thing that I can say, though, in a positive aspect, is that I do have a positive feeling in terms of the direction that they are going. I feel like, honestly, if you are going to go and make a movie that will star Cinderella's evil stepsisters, then yeah, why not make it a bridesmaid style comedy? Why not make some kind of like outlandish girl comedy that will that will feature some douchebaggy women who will ultimately go and get their comeuppance. Like, honestly, there are ways that, like, in concept, a lot of people might be immediately turned off by it, but especially coming from the fact that it is from Kristen Wiig and Mumolo, who have proven that they could do an extremely good job with that format and with that style of comedy, especially with getting such critical acclaim, even getting an Oscar nomination for Bridesmaids, and even coming out of their recent success with Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, then I feel like, at least in terms of that concept, it is in good hands. And I can actually imagine that it could go well, that the movie itself might actually work out and really take advantage of the characteristics of Anastasia and Drizella, even if it might not necessarily be related to either the animated movie of the 1950s, or if it would be related to the 2015 reboot. That, like, honestly, I can imagine how they can actually make their own interpretation and actually make a pretty solid film that does take advantage of the characters of the evil stepsisters. That I will give credit that, honestly, I do trust these people in particular to actually go and make an evil stepsisters movie. I think there is a good chance that it could come out strong and it could come out pretty enjoyable. But other than that, though, I just feel like it is kind of a weird idea for Disney to actually do. I just find it honestly strange of the fact that Disney would go and make another live-action movie based on Cinderella when they already made a Cinderella film only a few years ago. It was back into, like, as I'm recording this, it's only been 6 years since we've had that Cinderella reboot, and it's not like it wasn't a bomb or anything like that. It's not like Disney lost money or anything. It was a hit. Yeah, it's not as big of a hit. It's not like $1 billion hit like Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King or Aladdin or anything like that. But it still was successful when it came out, where it made, I believe, over $540 million, and I believe like 200 million of which was domestically. So it wasn't a failure at all. Disney certainly made money on that reboot. And I mean, if they want to go and capitalize on that film's success, then I mean, I guess nobody's going to go and stop them. I guess it's kind of understandable to go and, recapitalize on that movie's success. But still, though, it just feels weird that already they're making other interpretations of stories that they have already told. I don't know. For me, I just feel like maybe this is a little too soon to have another Cinderella reboot from Disney. Now, I trust these people absolutely that they could actually make something great and entertaining. But I don't know. I think what's putting me off with this news is that I just feel like it's too soon to get another Cinderella story, especially from Disney. Okay, so with that said, now I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about the Evil Stepsisters movie? Is this a film that you guys want to go and see? Are you guys a little bit iffy on this? Do you think it's a great idea, especially with having Kristen Wiig and Mumolo? Or do you just hate it because it's going to be yet another Disney live-action remake? Let me know what you think. And you know, the funny thing is that I already noticed on the chat wall, some people were already talking about, like, I want to see a Frozen 3. It's like, yeah, come on, guys. Like, I love Frozen, and I did enjoy Frozen 2, but I don't think we need a Frozen 3. You know what Disney needs? More original movies. Let them make something original. Even I'm not necessarily down for another Frozen movie. Let's see now. So, I'm two ways about this. On one hand, I think it sounds like at least a different perspective of the Cinderella story. It could be interesting. And fun, but a pattern of notice with the villains of the live-action remakes is that they try to make them very sympathetic. Maleficent, Jafar, Scar, Tremaine, Gaston was in a war. Mulan's villains were victims of their society. Cruella has to be a bad girl from the corporate world. However, it really takes away the intrigue and fun. Yeah, I understand that, and I think it comes to no surprise. Like, I think it is safe to say that many, like, well, pretty much all, well, would I say all, but okay, most actually. I think with the exception of Shere Khan, like, the live-action remakes really did water down the villains. Like, they can't just stay as so good to be bad and stuff like that. But no, like, they gotta make them more sympathetic, and they gotta flat out make them good guys, like what they did with Maleficent. So yeah, it is a bit of a downgrade with these Disney live-action remakes with their villains and stuff like that. But we'll see what they do with this. All I could say is, who is asking for this? While I don't think a film starring the evil stepsisters is a bad idea, it has now gone down to the point where Disney is running out of ideas for these live-action remakes. One thing I can guarantee you is that we are coming to the end of these live-action remakes. I think once the Little Mermaid remake comes in theaters, probably once the pandemic ends, that's when this trend might end. I won't say that it would end, but I could see it go like the Disney live-action remakes, where it's not going to end, but we are going to see a bit of a downhill in terms of their popularity. And by the way, when it comes to the Disney live-action remakes, don't ever say, who asked for this, because I can answer you right now, a lot of people do. Why else do you think that these movies become billion-dollar hits? And I mean, yeah, you can ask, like, who asked for the Lion King remake, who asked for the Aladdin remake, but you look at how much they made at the box office, and you'll find that the facts don't lie. So yeah, you might not like it. You're entitled to your opinion, but when you're saying nobody is asking for this, you're pretty much lying to yourself. Let's see now. After hearing this story, and may I ask why, we already got the 2015 remake of Cinderella, including the upcoming Sony's musical take of Cinderella that has Idina Menzel from Frozen in there. I don't see why Disney has to make another Cinderella movie, this time focusing on Cinderella's evil stepsisters. Yeah, it has some good people like Kristen Wiig, but I find it very unnecessary for Disney to make it. But then again, it is pretty rare to find Disney actually doing live-action movies where it feels like, oh yeah, I could see why you want to make it. Because the thing is that, yeah, like, money could be an easy answer, but then again, it's not, like, many people will find it's not an acceptable answer. Let's see now. Call me crazy, but I could see this possibly working. We have seen them develop one of the stepsisters into a much more sympathetic character in Cinderella 3, so it's not impossible to try to make both of them more interesting. If they go in that angle, it might work. That, or just make the villains protagonists. Yeah, and that is actually true, and that could be one argument for this movie, because yeah, maybe they might find a way to make the villains sympathetic. They might go into that cliched route. But then again, Disney already did have a bit of a history of that, where I believe it was Anastasia, where they try to make her more sympathetic in Cinderella 3 and try to make her more of a likable character that has a bit more depth. That is definitely true. So you can't necessarily blame Disney on doing something that they've already done in the past and directly with the characters that they have established with the 1950 movie. So from there, that is actually a good point, where Disney did have a history of playing with like trying to see what else they could do with the evil stepsisters. All right, so I'll go and read one more comment before we jump into the next story. I'm honestly kind of curious about this. I haven't seen films like Bridesmaids, but I do hear great things about it, and Barb and Star. But what really intrigues me is the fact that it is produced by Will Ferrell. I absolutely love that guy, So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on it. Insert Maleficent joke here. Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing about all this is the fact that the big highlight is the fact that Kristen Wiig and Mumolo are going to be writing this movie. But nobody's really talking about the fact that Will Ferrell is going to be a producer on this. So there is a chance that this stepsister movie is going to be going towards some pretty interesting directions. Oh my god. Oh my dude. I just realized something. This would be bonkers, but I would love to see this. Like, I would forgive anything this movie would do if they would make some kind of spiritual successor to Step Brothers. Like, imagine a Step Brothers movie, but starring Cinderella's evil stepsisters. That would be amazing. Like that, honestly, I would be so down for that. It would be incredibly stupid, but it would be the type of film that would be like, the stupider, the better. Please go and do that. Oh my god, like, even if they would bring in, like, Melissa McCarthy to do it, like, I would still be so down with that. Oh man, maybe there is some good that could come out of this Disney evil stepsister movie, you know? Maybe there is a chance that they could go and do it. Alright, and with that said, it is now time that we shall go into the grand finale of it all. And with this grand finale, just like with this news with Disney's Evil Stepsisters movie and with the Annie Awards, this is actually something that was revealed just yesterday. And this might be something that, for some of you, you might not necessarily know about this. You might not have necessarily heard that this might be happening. But you might be pretty surprised to hear that coming next week, there is going to be something a little bit big, you know? Something that might pique your interest. You know, like, let's say, a new Avatar series. Yeah, I'm not joking. Apparently next week, there could be a brand new series of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, this might be something that we could know more a bit in the future about what this is all about. But the big news that they have revealed is that, yes, on Avatar: The Last Airbender's YouTube channel, they have revealed that next week they're going to have a big 3-day Earth Day celebration, where they're going to be having some major events where they're going to be releasing a whole bunch of new videos and making live streams, and they're going to do all these kinds of celebrations about Earth Day. But then, on the final day, they're actually going to go and release what they have stated to be a brand new series. I'm just going to go and read you... That's basically what it is. Like, basically, the long story short of this, reading from my source here on Polygon, is that the Earth Day event will include original videos, a live stream of each of these 3 days, and a new original series exclusively on the channel. So you're not going to find it on, like, Paramount Plus or on Nickelodeon or anything like that. It's just going to be a series on the Avatar: The Last Airbender special. Now, the big catch of it all is that we don't know what it's going to be. They did state that apparently on Monday, on April 19th, they will have a formal announcement and bring out more details about what this new show is going to be about. They will reveal that, they'll say what it is going to be, and that after the premiere of it, it will stay in the Avatar: The Last Airbender YouTube channel. And plus the fact that they will even show a trailer of what this new series is going to be about. But yes, the big announcement here is the fact that apparently the YouTube channel is teasing that there is going to be a brand new Avatar series. And this is kind of I think it is safe to say that this is kind of a big deal. Especially the fact that throughout this year, we have been pretty hyped up about Avatar, especially ever since the announcement of an entire studio that is dedicated to Avatar The Last Airbender, and that they're going to go and work on new shows based on Avatar, and even new movies based on Avatar, in which their first major project is going to be an animated feature, or at least a movie released in theaters. And then right out of the blue, they have released an announcement that now there's going to be this new Avatar series. Now, chances are you might be listening or watching this a little bit after after Avatar made all their announcements of what it could possibly be. So this is just a bit of a prediction of what this could be. Maybe my guesses are going to be wrong, and very soon they could be wrong, but for now I just want to have a little bit of a speculation of what we might have with this. And one thing that I can say is that while it is very intriguing, I don't think we should go and really expect something massive. Like, yeah, maybe the big thing about this is that we will have a new animated series, but I don't think it's going to be like a new addition. I don't think it's going to be like a third Avatar series. It's not going to be something in the levels of what we have already gotten with Avatar The Last Airbender or Korra. This could be like a mini little set of cartoons, like a set of like five, a bunch of 5-minute animated shorts that are just going to be focusing on like a few characters, Some people have speculated that it will center a little bit more on Toph, or it could be like a little bit of a gag kind of thing where it could be starring the Cabbage Guy, and we'll see more of his origins, and kind of like what happened in, kind of like have the Mandalorian of Avatar The Last Airbender, what happened between both of those series, where we have the Cabbage Guy, where apparently his whole cabbage industry just became like a massive empire. That it could be something like that. But I'm not necessarily expecting something that could be massively big. Or, in fact, it could be something that might be a little bit different that people might not necessarily expect. Maybe it could be something that is more fan-oriented, like a new podcast show based on Avatar. Or it might not necessarily be an animated thing per se. It might be more something like talking with the fans or something like that. But one thing that I will say, though, is that yeah, even though they made this major announcement, this is still a massive risk. Because the thing is, you can't just come in and say that you can't just come in and say that you got a new Avatar The Last Airbender series coming soon on the YouTube channel. You can't just go and say that, because a lot of people are going to have some massive expectations, especially when it comes to the fan base of Avatar The Last Airbender, where it not only is it a large and prominent fan base, but there are a lot of people out there that are very dedicated to the series. They have a passionate and massive love for the show, so it's not necessarily something that you can really play with. And you can't necessarily go and make some kind of big expectation out of it, because if those expectations are not met, then you're really screwing yourself over, and you might just end up setting yourself up for just massive backlash. So that is something that you do have to be careful about. And in the case of this one right over here, I say don't set your expectations too high, because again, this is going to be a series for the YouTube channel. It's not going to be something for Paramount Plus. It's not going to be something for Nickelodeon. It's just going to be something that will be a little bit small for specifically the YouTube series. Maybe it's going to be animated. Maybe it is something that they are saving up that could be, it could be like a new animated thing that will add a little extra lore or answer a few unanswered questions that haven't been answered in stuff like Korra or Avatar and stuff like that. But still, if you have any expectations, don't set them up too high, because keep in mind, it will be for YouTube. But still, though, it is pretty interesting to see, and I think for many animation fans, it is something that we will have to go and keep an eye on to see if, maybe this might be a big deal. Maybe they're going to announce something something huge, or maybe this could be like this could be a series that will go and set things up for something that will be much larger in the future. Like, this could be the setup of like a new major series. You never know. They could do something like the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, where with that series, they will go and make a major announcement that we got a new big show that's going to be coming soon on Paramount Plus or on Nickelodeon. They could do that as well, where like the hype is going to be for that YouTube series, for that little YouTube series in particular, but that is all just a disguise for something that will be much bigger, that will be coming sooner than what people might expect. So that's just one thing that I'm just predicting, but ultimately we will have to wait and see with how this goes. But yeah, I feel like, honestly, this feels like a bomb that they dropped that feels like something that's pretty big, and honestly really did pique my curiosity. Like, yeah, you got a new Avatar series, so what you gonna do there? I'm curious to know about what this could be. So, I may not necessarily have all that much to say, but that's all my thoughts on what I think about this little announcement here. And if you are interested to know what it's all about, then I recommend following the official YouTube channel of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Go subscribe to them and see what their big reveal will be about. But with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you think about this announcement of a new Avatar series? What do you think it could be, and do you think those expectations are going to be met? Let me know what you think on this. Okay, let's see what we got here. All I could say, let's see. All I could say is thank the Lord Scrat. Sorry, I'm just depressed that Blue Sky is gone. It's happening. I have very high hopes for this series, and I used to watch it, but I literally did not like it. This is why 6-year-olds can't have opinions. The series is going to be freaking awesome, and I could tell from the original series. Also, did you hear the Dead by Daylight X Resident Evil crossover and the Epic Mickey remake for the Switch? Nintendo released a tweet about it this week. What? Wait, Epic Mickey remake for the Switch? I haven't heard about that. Honestly, I haven't heard about that. No, I don't know if I could really believe it, because if that is a real announcement, then honestly, that would be something that fans would go and immediately tell me about. I haven't heard about this Epic Mickey remake, and I don't know if it's true or not, so I don't know. Yeah, especially if it's something from weeks ago. Like, if it were something that was announced right now, then yeah, maybe I'll have to see, but nah, I don't know, man. Anyways, let's see. I've got some bad news about this. They have recently confirmed on their YouTube channel that this is just a fan-led original discussion series, but still, anything related to Avatar is a good thing. Oh, okay, so it is, yeah, so it is a more of a fan thing. Okay, I see. I see where you're going with it. Okay, so, yeah, if that's the case, yeah, I can imagine it's something not that big. Okay, anyways, let's see what we got. I'm looking forward to this new series. My biggest hope is what you said before, that it might be a Mandalorian-type series bridging the gap between The Last Airbender and Korra, since a lot was unexplained going into Korra. Also, who is your Avatar crush? My Avatar crush. Oh boy. Well, I mean, like, I know it's a little bit iffy considering that a lot of them are technically underage, but there is one, however, that I will say. I'm trying to remember her name, but if I recall, oh yeah, I think yep, okay, I think it's is it her? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's definitely her. So, if I have to go with a crush, it would have to be Ty Lee. I gotta go with Ty Lee because she's just absolutely cute of a character. I mean, yeah, like Azula is pretty hot, no pun intended, but Ty Lee, though, is just, oh my god, she's definitely a great looking girl and just so absolutely cute. But yeah, like, if I have to go with a crush, then yeah, I'll have to go with Ty Lee, if you really need to know. Let's see now. Oh, what else? What else do we have here? What else? Oh, All right. As someone who is a massive Avatar: The Last Airbender fan and absolutely adores the franchise, I am excited. Why am I not expecting something big? While I am not expecting something big, I am expecting something fun when it comes to the Avatar franchise. Also, I think this is possibly going to be better than the upcoming live-action series for Netflix. Also, I would love to see them do an adaptation on The Search, one of the stories from the comics. Oh, I know what you mean by The Search. Yeah. Oh, that would be very interesting, actually. But yeah, the funny thing is that is that Netflix series still going on? Especially with the fact that now that Viacom CBS is doing the Avatar Studios and they're more committed to working on Paramount Plus. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that project is ultimately dead so that the Avatar focus can be more on their own stuff, like on Nickelodeon and on Paramount Plus. So, I don't know. For me, I wouldn't be surprised if it's dead. Let's see now. I'll go and read one more comment before we cap this one off. Wow, I didn't expect we get a smaller Avatar universe series real soon. I thought it would take a while to make a new Avatar series, but seeing this bomb drop out of nowhere caught me off guard. I really hope it looks great or something when it comes really soon on YouTube. So, well, all we have to do, the thing is right now is that, for now, we'll just have to wait and see with what they're gonna announce on Monday. And with that said, I think that shall go and conclude this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. So with all that said and done, I would like to say thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for listening. And also, don't forget to go and donate to Campaign Zero in order to fight against police violence. And we'll see what other crazy stories we got coming up next week. I'm sure we will have another exciting episode coming soon. So with all that said and done, I would like to say thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, see you later, dudes!